Welcome back, my regular individuals, to another episode of A Word with Erica. I know I have been out a little while. I haven't posted in a few weeks as I have been really sick and I even lost my voice. It's trying to come back, but I am here and I know I'm in a different element. I love the being able to talk to you guys in the space that I'm able to talk to you with the cute koalas and the flowers. However, if this page is to be authentic, then this is authentic me. I'm not always well put together. I'm not always ready. And sometimes after I get ready, I don't have time to sit down and record a video. So in the moment, this is what you have. And I am straightening my hair. Because I have an appointment, I have a meeting to get ready for. But today, guys, I would like to talk about being taking accountability. I'm not sure if this is one I've covered before. I know I've mentioned it probably in a video or two, but today I really want to focus on just being able to take accountability for something that you have done. And it's so crazy because it's one of the hardest things for us as humans to do. It's one of the hardest things for me to do. But guess what? I'm a regular individual. I'm a regular individual who is trying to grow, who is trying to be my best self. And we can't do that if we can't first take accountability, even though it's hard. Now, taking accountability means, it sometimes means saying you're sorry, owning up to your part in the issue. Nobody wants to do that. We want to blame everyone else. And though it may be someone else's fault, you have part in it as well. Even if the part you have to take accountability for is your feelings. Now, I think that's funny because that used to be one of the hardest things. I always used to say, up until recently, probably up until like the last couple months, I'd always say, you made me feel. No. My feelings are mine. That's the part I have to take accountability for. Nobody made me feel anyway. Because of what you said or because of the situation, I felt. That's on me. And I'm able to do that. I'm able to take accountability for my feelings. I feel because of this. Taking accountability sometimes means you have to say you're sorry. Somebody tell you you hurt their feelings. Somebody tell you you've done something to harm them, to hurt them. And it may not have been intentional, but guess what? You did it. Just like your feelings are valid, those other individuals, their feelings are valid as well. So the big thing to do is apologize. I own that. Now, not saying that you have to take accountability for everything someone puts on you, because I've had people do that as well. Well, you did this, or you made me feel that, or you are X, Y, and Z. No. If it's not true, then you can reject it. I reject. I had that happen to me. Someone told me I was doing something. I had met this person from Adam. I never met them. They know not me or my character or anything. You're doing X, Y, and Z. I said, no. I reject that, and I resent that statement that you've made about me. You don't know me at all. Now, if I did X, Y, and Z, I'll take accountability for that part. But like I say, you don't have to take accountability for everything. If you didn't do it, or you didn't feel like it was right, or it was on you, you don't have to accept and take accountability for what someone else wants to put on you. You can reject that in the most respectful way, of course. And if you don't understand right then, and if you need to ponder on it, you don't have to take accountability right then. You may have to come back after thinking about it. You may have to come back, and you might have to say, oh yeah, I was wrong. And sometimes it's really, really hard for us to come back and admit that we were wrong, or admit that we've hurt somebody. But in life, we hurt people. And what we have to do is take accountability. If you're on your job and you're doing something or acting in a manner that will get you, terminated, or if you're treating people in a way that they don't want to have anything to do with you anymore, take accountability. Change it. Look at yourself and say, hey, maybe it is something I'm doing wrong. And taking accountability not only means apologizing, but it means changing that behavior, owning that behavior and doing something about it so that you don't offend in the same way. So that you are intentional about your changing. And it's one of the hardest things to do. And I have a little bit of an example. So everybody knows I'm a single mom. I have my 2 daughters, Ty and Macy. Well, here in the last couple weeks, I was having a hard time. As you can see on my previous videos, I was having a hard time. And periodically, quite often, if I'm being honest, the girls and I, we have conversations. Like, we have talks, we have little sit-down talks. And, we were having a discussion on, me and my feelings, and them and their feelings. And, I shared some things with them. And I was like, sometimes I feel like I don't matter. Or I feel like I don't matter like everybody else out there in the world. But number one, they live with me. They live with me on a daily basis, just like I live with them. And guess what? I get on their nerves, just like they get on my nerves. And it was so funny because we all ended up in tears. And I was just telling them, sometimes I feel like you treat everybody in the world better than you treat me. And y'all the only things I really, truly care about. And I was like, how do you show me that you love and care about me? And I know a lot of times we have the way in which we want people to show us that they love and care about us, but then they show us in their own ways. And I wanted to know what their ways were. And then they told me, and then I understood. And they told me, you want us to show you love X, Y, and Z, but the way I show you love is X, Y, and Z. And I was like, you know what? I was a kid before, but I never really thought of it the way that, they were explaining it. And I was like, that's beautiful. So guess what? I had to take accountability for my part and not understanding. And, I was asking other questions, and my oldest, she was just like, I asked her, I was like, everybody thinks you guys are these grandkids, and they are. They are. And they are a reflection of me. I said, but why do you guys give me hell at home? And I was like, but I have said on multiple occasions, I would much rather my kids, know how to behave out in public and they act the fool at home. But it can be quite overwhelming sometimes. And my oldest, she told me, she was like, I just feel like, I have to show everybody that I'm a good kid and I'm respectful and I can listen and everything. And she was like, and I just feel like, when I come home, I can be myself because you understand, that I'm just a growing kid and, I don't listen all the time. And I'm just like, that's crazy because I put those expectations on them to be these grand kids all the time. But I can't, if I'm being honest, I'm not even so grand all the time myself. I'm a regular individual and so are they, in smaller form, whose brains haven't stopped developing yet. They don't understand everything. And I definitely had to take a step back and take accountability for the pressure that I put on them. I didn't know how to be a kid, so it's definitely hard for me to allow them to be children. But I'm working on it. That's me taking accountability. I'm not the best mom. And they're children. I had to take accountability for putting that pressure on them. And I had to apologize. Now, I think it's beautiful that a lot of my work starts in my home. It's my kids that I get these lessons from. And those kids will humble you. But they will also make you realize it's not easy. Just like it's not easy being an adult. It's not easy being a child. And sometimes I can't always regulate my emotions. And you think they can? I'm double their ages. 3 times their ages. And I can not always regulate myself. I just think it's so funny because we forget that we were kids sometimes. We were kids at one time. And I think we also forget that they are still growing and developing, and that we can't expect them to have it all together. This is all for me. I don't know if anybody else is like that. I can't expect them to have it all together. It's hard. But I had to do that. I had to be humbled real quick. And I just love being able to apologize, because when I was younger, that's one thing, you won't ever catch me apologizing for nothing, right or wrong. But now I'm able to say, in an instance, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have made that decision. And I think it's beautiful. I am a regular individual, and I am still working on myself. So it's okay to not have it all together, because who on earth said we're gonna have it all together? And what does having it all together look like? Everybody's lives are different. Some people have more than I have. Some people have less than what I have. And I may not always be in this position. Sometimes I can have more. Sometimes I can have less. But what I do have is a mind. And I do have the will to work on me and my life. And as regular individuals, we don't give ourselves enough credit. And we are our biggest critics. We hurt ourselves too. Sometimes you need to take accountability for hurting yourself. I have to take accountability for putting too much pressure on myself. Feeling the need to be perfect, or feeling the need to be a grandmom, or feeling the need to be positive all the time. Life doesn't work like that, as you can see. I have been exhausted, and I almost stopped the work with Erica because I'm exhausted. And there's still some work I need to do, and I know I still need to recover physically. I'm burning up at this moment. But I want you guys to see me in an authentic light. But dude, seriously about this accountability thing, like, I think one thing that we lack to be able to take accountability are conversations. True, genuine conversations. People don't know how to do that anymore. People don't know how to approach someone with an issue because they get mad. Because they're not in a space where they're open or willing to grow, or even willing to, or don't know how to express themselves. That's hard. It's always been hard for me. But in my last couple years of therapy, I have learned how to communicate my feelings. Not only that, but understand and know that my feelings are valid, and so are yours. Though I may not see the situation in your perspective, our perspectives may be different. You are still a human, nevertheless. And your feelings and the situation and how it occurred in your head and on your end is very real. Very real. Just like mine. And so I have to take accountability for my actions, for my understanding or lack thereof. I think if we can do that, and if we can treat one another with kindness and dignity, I think we will be grand. My regular individuals, I don't know if you've missed me, but I have missed you. And I told you my hair wasn't gonna be like it was last time. It may not be completely done yet, but listen, I'm glad to be back. And I'm glad that I didn't give up. And until next time, my regular individuals, you guys have a beautiful day.